The room is quiet, too quiet. Not the peaceful quiet of contentment, but the hollow, echoing quiet of absence. You know the feeling, the itch, the pull, the space where a habit used to live. A cigarette not smoked, a screen not checked, a drink not poured. That space feels like a canyon, and you're standing on the edge, the wind of old urges trying to pull you in. We've been taught that to cross that canyon requires Herculean willpower, a white-knuckle grip on the self, a daily battle of saying no 100 times until we're exhausted, until we eventually, inevitably, say yes. But what if we've been fighting the wrong battle? What if the secret to breaking an addiction isn't found in strengthening the will, but in shifting the world? Not the internal world of resolve, but the physical, tangible click and whir world around you. This is the environment shift, and it is the most overlooked, powerful catalyst for lasting change. Think of willpower not as a muscle, but as a reservoir. Every decision you make, from choosing socks to ignoring a notification, draws a little water from that reservoir. By the time you face your real challenge, the craving, the trigger, that reservoir is often dangerously low. You're trying to fight a forest fire with a few leftover drops. The environment shift says, stop trying to be a bigger bucket. Instead, move the fire away from the forest. It begins with a simple, almost radical idea. Your behavior is not a direct product of your intentions, it is a product of your context. You are, more than you realize, a creation of your surroundings. The chair you sit in, the route you drive, the apps on your phone's home screen, the items on your kitchen counter, they are not passive decor, they are silent prompts, they are perpetual invitations. Every object, every space, every digital portal is whispering a suggestion to you all day long. A pack of cigarettes on the coffee table isn't just a pack of cigarettes, it's a question asked 50 times an hour. Well, how about now? A phone charging next to your bed isn't just convenience, it's the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing at night, a vortex of infinite scroll waiting to swallow 45 minutes of sleep. An empty wine glass sitting where you always sit, it's not a glass, it's a memory of a ritual waiting to be fulfilled. The environment shift is the act of changing the conversation. It's about replacing those whispers that pull you toward your addiction with new whispers that pull you towards something else. It's not about creating a fortress of no, it's about designing a landscape of yes to a different life. Let's start with the principle of friction. Addiction thrives on ease. The path of least resistance is its superhighway. Your job is to construct roadblocks, detours, and toll booths on that highway. Make the unwanted behavior inconvenient. For the smoker, don't just decide to smoke less, throw away all lighters. Keep the cigarettes in the car, in the garage, in a locked box in the basement. Make yourself have to put on shoes and a coat and walk through the cold to get one. Each layer of friction is a moment for the reservoir of willpower you still have to assert itself. It turns an automatic unconscious reach into a conscious deliberate act, and in that space of consciousness, change has a chance. For the phone scroller, delete the social media apps from your phone. Not just off the home screen, delete them. If you want to check them, you must re-download them each time. Log in, wait. That 10-second delay is a canyon. Use a website blocker for distracting sites on your computer. Set it with a password you give to a friend. Create friction. Meanwhile, make the better behavior path pathologically easy. Want to read more? Have a book open on the table, a bookmark in it, a reading light already on. Want to start running? Sleep in your running clothes. Lay your shoes by the bed. Make the first step of the desired action so simple it feels absurd not to do it. Now, move to the principle of cues. Every addiction is tied to a symphony of cues, people, places, times of day, emotional states, rituals. The after-dinner coffee cues the cigarette, the lonely evening cues the drink, the moment of boredom cues the phone. You cannot erase these cues from your life, but you can scramble the signal. You can break the chain. This requires forensic self-observation. Don't judge, just map. For 1 week, be a scientist of your own habit. When does the urge strike? Precisely where are you? What just happened? What are you feeling? What object is in your hand or line of sight? You will see patterns emerge. You will see that your addiction is not a random monster, but a predictable creature of habit, summoned by specific incantations from your environment. Once you have the map, you can redraw the borders. If you always drink while watching a certain show, stop watching that show for a month. Watch something new in a different chair. Break the association. If you always scroll in bed, buy an old-fashioned alarm clock and ban the phone from the bedroom entirely. The room's cue changes from scroll zone to sleep zone. If you snack mindlessly from the kitchen cupboard, rearrange your kitchen. Put healthy snacks at eye level in clear containers. Put the chips or cookies in an opaque bin on a high shelf behind something else. Out of sight is neurologically out of mind. Your visual field is a menu. Design the menu you want to order from. This brings us to the most profound layer, crafting a new environment that actively nourishes the person you want to become. This is beyond removing bad cues. This is about installing good ones. It's proactive design. Who is the version of you that is free from this addiction? What does that person value? What does that person do with their time, their energy, their focus? Now, build shrines to that person in your daily space.
If that person is calm and present, create a corner with a comfortable chair, a plant, a notebook for journaling. Make it inviting. If that person is healthy and energized, pre-cut vegetables and store them in clear glass containers at the front of the fridge. Have your water bottle filled and waiting. If that person is creative, have your instrument out of its case, your sketchbook open, your project materials on a dedicated table. These are not just objects. They are visual promises. They are invitations to step into that new identity. Every time you walk past that inviting chair, instead of collapsing onto the couch with your phone, you are not just resisting a habit, you are accepting an invitation to become someone new. The environment is voting for the better version of you all day long. And we must talk about the social environment, the people who are the living, breathing part of your world. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not just in attitude, but in behavior. If you are trying to quit drinking, but your entire social life revolves around bars and breweries, you are trying to climb a mountain with a heavy pack. This is the hardest shift, and often the most necessary. It doesn't mean abandoning friends, but it does mean communicating your needs. I'm not drinking right now, so how about we meet for coffee or a hike instead? It means seeking out new tribes, even in small ways. The online forum for people learning a new skill, the early morning running group, the book club. These new connections provide new cues, new rituals, new conversations. They reshape the social soil in which your new identity must grow. This is not a one-day revolution. It is a gradual occupation of your own life. You won't redesign everything overnight. Start with one room. Start with one trigger. The trigger of walking in the door after work. What is the first thing you do? What is the first thing you see? Change that. Put your keys in a new spot. Have a healthy snack prepared instead of reaching for the pantry. Put on a specific song that shifts your mood. Master that one environmental transition. Then move to the next. The environment shift is cumulative. Each small change is a brick in a new foundation. Over time, you are not living in the same old house haunted by old habits. You have, brick by brick, built a new home, a home where the old addiction simply doesn't fit anymore. It's not a matter of willpower, it's a matter of architecture. The rooms are laid out differently, the light falls in new ways, the paths lead to different destinations. You will still have urges. The canyon of absence will still echo sometimes, but in your new environment, the wind blowing through that canyon has less force, because between you and the edge, you have placed new things. A bookshelf, a running shoe, a kettle for tea, a project half finished, a friend's number on speed dial. These things are not just things, they are the physical manifestations of your new life. They form a barrier, not of restriction, but of alternative possibility. The shift breaks addictions because it changes the questions your life is asking you. It stops asking, "Can you resist?" and starts asking, "What would you like to do instead?" It externalizes the struggle. The battle is no longer a silent, exhausting civil war inside your skull. The battle becomes the practical, manageable task of moving a lighter to a different drawer, of using a different route home that doesn't pass the bar, of charging your phone in another room. The victory is no longer a fragile, invisible moment of refusal. It is a tangible, new landscape that you have built with your own hands. So look around you, right now. Your life as it currently exists is perfectly designed to produce the results you are currently getting. To get different results, you must become an architect, not just of your intentions, but of your walls, your screens, your routines, your spaces. Stop fighting yourself in the old world. Start building a new one. A world where the person you want to be isn't a distant goal, but the most logical, natural inhabitant. That world is waiting, not in a future of grim resistance, but in the next simple, physical change you make. Move the chair, delete the app, fill the water bottle, open the window. Each act is a quiet revolution. Each change is a declaration that your life is not something that happens to you, but something you are actively, physically creating. And in that creation, the old addictions lose their home and wither away, forgotten in the rooms you no longer visit. So, what's one whisper in your environment, a specific object or cue that most strongly pulls you toward a habit you'd like to change? If you were to design a single friction point for an unwanted behavior tonight, what small practical step would you take? What's one small shrine you could build in your space this week to invite the person you want to become? Which principle, friction, cues, or proactive design, feels most actionable for you right now, and why? How can your social environment better support your shift? Is there one conversation or new connection you need to make? Remember, lasting change is less about fighting the current in your mind and more about redirecting the riverbed of your daily life. Start small, build your new environment one brick at a time, and watch as your habits naturally follow the new paths you've laid down. If this perspective on designing your world for better choices resonated with you, then your support helps us build this community. Like, share, and subscribe to Better You Daily for more insights that help you move from struggle to strategy. Until next time, keep building.